Hello, so I'm currently outdoors. I'm at one of our pollinator gardens here in Oakville. This one's called Wellspring Pollinator Garden and it's located near Oak Park. As you can see, I'm surrounded by a ton of beautiful plants. Now these plants are not simply just pretty, but they also serve a very important role in our pollinator garden. Just to quickly refresh your memory, pollen is the yellow powdery substance plants produce in order to make seeds in the process of pollination. Come and take a closer look. Pollination is an essential stage in the life cycle of plants. It occurs when the pollen is transferred from the stamen to the pistil, and it can happen in one of three ways. On a windy day like today, pollen can be transferred simply by the motion of wind. Pollen can also be transferred by water. The pollen floats on water, and when it comes into contact with the flower, it's deposited inside the flower.
Last but not least, animals can carry pollen grains from one plant to another. Those are the animals we refer to as pollinators. Pollinators pick out little grains of pollen on their hair, feet, or wings when drinking the nectar of a yummy flower. Those grains of pollen travel with them and eventually land on the next flower that they visit.
Pollination is important to us humans as well as other species because crops such as vegetables and fruits are reliant on pollination for growth. Now, what would life look like without pollination and pollinators?
Without pollination, we wouldn't have many of our favorite fruits and vegetables, which would be tragic for both humans and other animals who rely on plants for food, shelter, and oxygen. That's why it's important for us to provide pollinators with safe habitats such as pollinator gardens, to help them in the process of pollination. In Oakville, we have a few pollinator gardens that you can visit.
Alright, follow me as I take a closer look at some of the pollinators and pollinating plants that we have here at our garden.
Here's a milkweed plant. Their pollen is stored in sac-like bundles. They're often visited by pollinators since they produce a lot of nectar. Pollinators often land on one of the 5 flower hoods and absorb the nectar, which is later stuck on their body and transferred to other plants. In this clip, the orange and black bug you see is referred to as the milkweed bug, and it's currently feeding on the butterfly milkweed plant. Here you can see a monarch butterfly on a beautiful milkweed plant. At our garden, we also have wild bergamot, which typically attracts a number of bees, including solitary bees, wasps, hummingbirds. Black-eyed Susans have shallow nectar cups which attract honeybees. Isn't it so much fun seeing pollinators in action? Here you can see a great black wasp. It's currently on a mountain mint along with a few other bees. Mountain mints provide plenty of nectar, attracting pollinators whose bodies are later covered in pollen, which they transfer as they move from one plant to another. Birds are very important pollinators of wildflowers throughout the world. In Ontario, we commonly have hummingbirds. In this clip, you see a dove that I captured during my visit at Wellspring Pollinator Garden. As you can see, the milkweed plant seems to be a fan favorite. Here you see a cabbage white butterfly, and here you see a solitary bee which is native to Ontario. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Now it's time for you to head outside and look out for some pollinators and some plants that typically attract pollinators.